Paul and Peter were born in a small village in the heart of Africa, where family was everything. As children, they played in the dusty fields, swam in the nearby river, and learned the ways of their people from their father. Their bond was unbreakable, and as they grew older, they worked side by side to build a future. Through hard work and determination, they established a thriving farming business, supplying the village with fresh produce and livestock. Their success was not only in wealth, but also in unity. They built homes close to each other, shared meals, and celebrated every milestone together. The villagers admired them, calling them the brothers of prosperity. When they married, it was expected that their bond would only grow stronger. Paul married Kathy, a strong-willed woman with a sharp tongue, while Peter married Dorries, a quiet but cunning woman. The brothers believed their wives would bring even more joy into their lives. But trouble soon began. At first, the disagreements between Kathy and Dorries were small: who cooked better, whose home was cleaner, and who dressed more elegantly. But over time, these petty squabbles grew into heated arguments. Kathy accused Dorries of being lazy and jealous, while Dorries claimed Kathy was controlling and arrogant. The brothers tried to ignore these fights, believing that with time, the women would learn to live in harmony. One evening, Paul and Peter returned from their farm, exhausted but happy, only to find their wives yelling at each other over a missing cooking pot. Kathy swore she had placed it in her kitchen, while Dorries insisted she had never touched it. The brothers tried to calm them, but neither woman would listen. Paul, being the eldest, demanded they settle the matter peacefully, but Kathy accused him of always defending Peter's wife. Peter, caught in the middle, tried to reason with Dorries, but she claimed he never stood up for her. As days turned into months, the women found more reasons to argue. If Paul bought Kathy a new dress, Dorries would complain to Peter about favoritism. If Peter took Dorries to visit her family, Kathy would accuse them of plotting against her. The once peaceful homes were now filled with tension, and the villagers began to notice the change. Paul and Peter held several meetings, hoping to restore peace. They invited the village elders, who counseled their wives on the importance of unity. The women would nod in agreement during the meetings, but the moment they were alone, they returned to their quarrels. The brothers tried separate solutions. Paul took Kathy on a trip to distract her, while Peter gifted Dorries jewelry to make her happy, but nothing worked. One day, the conflict reached its peak. Kathy and Dorries fought so fiercely that they dragged their husbands into it. Kathy accused Peter of influencing Paul to favor Dorries, while Dorries claimed Paul was controlling Peter's decisions. The once unshakable bond between the brothers started to weaken. They found themselves arguing in defense of their wives, something they had never done before. Realizing their brotherhood was in danger, Paul and Peter made a painful decision. They gathered their wives and told them they could no longer live in a house divided. If the women could not find peace, then they would rather walk away. Kathy and Dorries thought it was an empty threat until the brothers packed their belongings and moved to a new home. Just the two of them, as it had always been. The village was shocked. The women wept, but Paul and Peter had made up their minds. They chose brotherhood over a life of endless fights. Years passed, and though they remained unmarried, their bond grew even stronger. They expanded their business, mentored young men in the village, and became a living example of the strength of brotherhood. Kathy and Doris eventually realized their mistakes, but it was too late. Paul and Peter had found peace, and they were not willing to risk losing it again. Their story was told for generations, a tale of love, betrayal, and the ultimate sacrifice for family unity. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and share this story.